Valheim is an early access open world survival game that doesn't really hold hands. And so today we're going to be going over new tips and tricks that every new player into the game of Valheim should know before starting to play. When you first start out in the game in Valheim, you'll be prompted to make an axe. It'll tell you that sticks and stones will make an axe. So as you go around, you can find small stones on the ground that you can click on hitting E, or small fallen limbs that you can click on as well. You can also hit smaller trees like this. You will not, early game, be able to hit large trees like this large beech. As you can see, I'm doing no damage to it. Once you have enough sticks and stones, go ahead and hit tab and bring up the menu, and you can craft yourself a stone axe. Once you have your stone axe, go ahead and come up to larger trees and you can start cutting these trees down. Be careful, because as they fall, you can take damage from the fall and it can kill you. You can't just harvest this one. You're going to have to break it up into smaller pieces like this. Once you have smaller pieces, then you can go ahead and break them up. Into wood. And it should give you about 10 wood per log. One thing I would like to note, that just swinging your axe, your club, your knife, or shooting your bow into nothing, or just punching the air randomly like this, will give you no experience. So there's no way to train it that way. However, you can come up to this stone with your axe and beat on it, and you will gain XP. To gain XP with anything in the game, you have to actively be hitting something. So, and then if I'm running, I actually have to run. I run back and forth, I will gain XP. If I want to train jumping, I just jump up in the air. As you can see, I just leveled. Once you have enough materials, you're going to want to craft everything that you can craft in the item menu. So that means a club and a hammer. You should start with the torch, so you don't need to craft another torch if you don't want to. Be wary. As you have your axe equipped, there's a movement speed penalty down here, minus 5%. That goes for the club. The hammer doesn't have one, but the torch does. So that means if you make a shield and, let's say, a hammer or a club, and you have these equipped, so say I have my club equipped right now, I have a 5% movement speed penalty. If I had a shield on as well, I would have a 10% movement speed penalty. Now I can put these away instead of just hitting, say, 3 and 4 or 5 and 6 or whatever you got these slotted to. If you just hit R, you'll put it away and your movement speed penalty will not be applied. Once you've crafted your hammer, you'll be prompted to go ahead and build a workstation. You may be tempted to just throw it down, but it's going to tell you you need a roof. Now you can go ahead and build a giant hall, Viking hall, a base, or whatever you want if this is the area you want to build in. Now you can build multiple workstations and multiple bases around the world. You are not limited to just one. But consider early game just making something like this, like a little shed, as you see I've done. And it's really easy. If I go ahead and pull my hammer out, all I did is do 4 of these wood walls, 2 of these small wood slope walls, and then just put 2 thatched roofs on there. Just note that when you put it around your workstation has to be back a little bit. Kind of as you see it here in the game. For me, I had to put it back because originally I had it all the way up to the edge and it was not considered covered. So make sure that you put your workstation all the way to the back. Once you have your workstation done, you're going to see this line of circle all the way around your workstation. This is the area of effect, which you can build anything that's attached to that workstation within this area. So like for us, we have a wood wall here and we want to build over here. I'm missing a requirement. The missing requirement actually is the workstation. But let's say I messed up. I come over here to highlight it. So now it's highlighted blue. I hit the middle mouse wheel button and it breaks it. Just like that. Super easy. The more you explore the world, the more dangerous enemies you're going to come across, and you're going to want a spawn point. No, in order to build a spawn point, you want to come to where you have a workstation active. You're going to want to build a campfire and a bed, and then you're going to want to go ahead and claim that bed after you've put it down. Now, the one thing to note here is the bed, in order to be claimed, has to be under a roof. So kind of just like this, if you're not looking to make a base here, you can make another shed like that, or you can just build a house. Either way, the choice is up to you. Another thing that you guys are going to want to consider is making things like a hoe. With a hoe, you can do terrain manipulation. There's this, it actually flattens the ground out for me. Really helpful to build bases in areas where the ground is not level. But I can't actually break up these stones with the terrain manipulator. If I right click, I can select to raise the ground, as you see. So I can have a raised base, maybe on a hill, and maybe a path going up to it, whatever I want. As you use your tools, they're going to degrade, and you won't need to make new ones. Actually, all you have to do is go up to the workbench like this, and then you get this icon right here. It's going to be highlighted when any of your tools have degraded. If you just click them, everything that you've used repairs, and honestly, there's no repair costs. It's pretty cool. One thing you guys are going to want is to craft things out of flint. So like a flint knife, maybe a flint axe, whatever. The flint knife is really nice because it gives a backstab damage of times 10. So, and you can like early game, you can come up, just sneak up by hitting control and just sneak up behind a deer and just hit this deer and he will get smoked. You can one-shot a deer by sneaking up on him. But to get flint, it's not hard. All you got to do is find a large body of water like this and just kind of go along the shoreline. You can actually see some right here. This is flint right here. Just go ahead and pick it up. It's easy. Negative and positive effects. So I just came out of the water. So as you can see, the dripping off of my character. If I hit the tab button and I come over here to the crow or the raven and I click on it, it's going to say I'm wet. Lowers your health and stamina regeneration. So I have a 25% health regeneration debuff as well as a 15% stamina regeneration debuff. And it'll tell you everything here. You're more resistant to fire, which would make sense, but you're more weak to frost as well as lightning. So all of that, of course, makes sense. Now, the one thing that you're going to be looking for, especially early game, is a pickaxe. And all I can tell you is in order to get the pickaxe, you have to kill the first boss. Now, if you guys remember from spawning in here and talking to the crow, the raven, and he tells you to click this, that's the first boss. And I believe you need 2 heads, 2 deer heads to summon him. But once you've killed him, you'll have the ability to craft a pickaxe. And once you have a pickaxe, you can start to break larger stones down. One thing as you're exploring you may come across are these broken down buildings. Let's go ahead. I have one over here. What we're going to want to do is go ahead and put, say, like a workbench down right here. Once we have that workbench down, what we're going to do is come over here and now we can break these up for materials. As we break this up is an easy way to get materials, including some rarer materials. So make sure you take the time to break these up because it's worth your time, especially early game when you don't have anything. So as you can see right here, we actually picked up a ton of wood off of that. So that's pretty nice actually. We can leave that there or we can take it. I don't care. It doesn't matter. So eventually you're going to get tired of all the berries, right? And if you highlight over this, there's something that you really need to pay attention to. And beyond the weight of the item that you have, but the health, the stamina, the duration that it lasts like a buff as you eat food, right? So this berry is going to last for 600 seconds. It's going to, every tick that it does, it's going to heal me 1 health point. It's going to give me a total of 10 health points and 20 stamina, right? So That's cool. Now, if we look at the very bottom, I actually have a meat leg, because if you highlight over the meat, that's going to give me 40 health, 30 stamina, 1200 duration, 2 ticks, 2 health per tick. And if I go ahead and click the raspberry, or right click the raspberry, I can eat it, and you'll see at the very bottom, now that's there. Now I can also go over the mushroom and eat the mushroom as well, and that's going to give me a number of effects. So number of effects, and all 3 stack, right? So for here, I have a 2 health, 2 hit points per tick, as well as the raspberry, which gave me 1 hit point per tick, and the mushroom, which gave me 1 hit point per tick. So stacking all together, if you look above my character, you're going to see a green +4 pop up every tick right there. And that's 4 health points every time it ticks, including my health bar, which increases. So use this tactfully. Look at all the different abilities and things that your food gives you, and use it tactfully. If you're going against a boss, you're going to may want more stamina regeneration or things of that nature, or more health regeneration, and always have a stack of those things on you. If you'd like to see more guides like this for Valheim or any other game, don't forget to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Anyways, guys, I'm GrandDaddy Gamer, and I'll see you guys in the next.